Currently, there are two games that let you pilot a giant spaceship in an online multiplayer battle arena worth talking about: Fractured Space and Dreadnought. Recently I got a hankering for the idea after finding myself wishing Battlefleet Gothic Armada would let me take direct control, and went to give them a test ride to see which one I want to pursue further. For someone with slow or metered internet, that may not be a prudent idea, or maybe your gaming time is so limited you don't want to spend even 2 hours or so playing a game to find out you like its competitor more. So to help you make a decision in advance, here is my look at the two games, split into 5 categories: aesthetics, progression, gameplay, business model, and summary. Both games feature capital ships, with the smallest ones easily the size of skyscrapers. In Dreadnought, the ships are somewhat stylized, with a look somewhere between militaristic and alien. The prow ornaments reveal some slight 40k influence, and once you have leveled up sufficiently, there are plenty of customization options available. In Fractured Space, the ships differ between manufacturers, but strive for realism mostly, with designs looking industrial and rugged more so than sleek. You can alter the look of your ship quite drastically with skins, and there are red or green effects mods which tint your warp jump effect. The texture work on the ships is significantly higher quality in Fractured Space, with some of the textures in Dreadnought being outright ugly, but really essentially both are entirely serviceable, considering that you're not really supposed to spend a lot of time closely examining how the ships look while you're actively playing. The visual design of the maps in which the battles take place, however, is much better in Dreadnought than Fractured Space. The textures are great, and the models are beyond reproach. In Fractured Space, not only are the maps more bare, taking its place exclusively in mostly empty space, but also some of the asteroid textures are weak enough for me to have taken notice simply during normal gameplay. Fractured Space takes place exclusively in space, while Dreadnought also has planetary combat. Which of those is better is a matter of personal preference, but as far as I'm concerned, if I want to fight near the ground, I'll play a tank game. Disregarding the option of paid Founders Packs, neither game just immediately gives you access to all ships. But each has a different opinion on how to go about getting more. Dreadnought is a very traditional free-to-play title in this regard. The more you play a ship, the more experience it earns. You use experience to go through an upgrade tree and spend credits to buy what you unlocked, until you can unlock and buy the next ship down the line. Entirely copy and pasted from games such as World of Warships and the like. In Fractured Space, some features such as crew, implants or ranked battles are a little bit experience gated, but you can buy any ship you like right off the bat, whether with premium currency platinum or with in-game credits. The ships have one or several abilities that have side grades available for purchase, such as beam attack getting shorter range and shorter cooldown, or longer cooldown but more armor penetration. I don't think either system is inherently better than the other. Some players just prefer to see the ship they want way down the tech line and work towards it for weeks or months, while others would prefer to be able to find a ship they want and get playing with it as soon as they wish. For some, the rewarding experience is the progression, for some the gameplay itself. Speaking of gameplay, this is where the games are the most alike. Both games let a handful of players go face-to-face in giant spaceships inside an arena of some description with skills and weapons based on their ship, so they can work together to overcome their foe in 3 spatial dimensions with 4 degrees of freedom: forward and back, left and right, up and down, and yaw. There are no roll or pitch controls in either game, although in both your ships will pitch their nose up or down when you change elevation to make it look more dynamic. Weapons in Fractured Space have a cooldown, those in Dreadnought need to be reloaded. In both games, abilities are tied to cooldowns and energy. In Dreadnought, however, energy has a second raison d'être. You can route power to shields, weapons or engines to boost their capability for a little while. In turn, Fractured Space gains additional complexity through an in-match level-up system. As your team holds capture nodes, you gain resources, which increase your team level, increasing your ship stats. However, to gain these benefits, you must return your ship to one of your bases for retrofits, and every 3 levels you can choose between additional increases to offensive, defensive or utility systems. As for game modes, Dreadnought offers Team Deathmatch, Team Elimination and a Horde mode called Onslaught, which all do pretty much what they sound like, while Fractured Space has Frontline and Conquest. Frontline is a short and nasty fight in a single sector with 1 base per team and 3 capture points, while Conquest have 5 sectors, forward bases in addition to capture points, and a central event to incite regular team engagements. Both of these can be played cooperatively against AI or in full PvP mode, with a ranked mode being currently in the works, and the developers have even seen fit to include both a firing range and a single-player mode to try out new ships in a no-risk environment. Speaking of fighting, the time to kill differs wildly between these two games. In Dreadnought, death is cheap and easy. It's the Call of Duty to the Quake 3 of Fractured Space, if you'll pardon the overly simplistic comparison. Even the highest DPS weapons in Fractured Space take some time to whittle down the armor of other ships before they can chew on the soft hull underneath, while in Dreadnought it's quite possible to melt some of the more delicate ships in one good salvo. Again, it'll come down to personal preference, which you prefer. Both games are free to play with microtransactions and unlock packs. In Fractured Space you can purchase ship unlocks, skins, crew member drop pods, implant drop pods, and in-game currency boosts. Of these, all but the skins can be earned with in-game currency. Actually, not the in-game credit boosts either, it would be silly to make them available for in-game credits. Instead they can drop from daily reward pods. Although the credit boosters from pods are manual, single-use items, while for real money you can also get timed versions that last for a number of days, effectively what other games would call a premium count time. The ships cost between 200 and 1680 platinum each, or between 1 and 8 euros. You can earn enough in-game credits to unlock one of the lower cost ships in maybe 2 hours or so, depending on your performance and use of credit boosts. In total there are currently 33 ships, of which you can unlock 31 instantly by purchasing the Armada pack, which comes in at 37 euros if there is no sale going on. In Dreadnought you can also upgrade your account to premium status, which will increase credit and experience gains for both you and your team, at a price of $10 for 30 days. However, since the ships are all experience gated, like in similar battle sim games, you can't buy them outright, except for premium ships, of which there are currently only one, a tier 4 ship with the same stats as another non-premium ship of its type, which costs around $40. The cosmetic items cost between 50 cents and $5 each. Due to it being in closed beta phase at this time, you can also buy a Founders Pack, which, if you do decide that this game will be for you, offers really good value for money. In summary, both games can be enjoyed by freeloaders just fine, although in Dreadnought it will take you a good long while to get that cool ship you always wanted, if you don't go premium. Honestly, I can't tell you which one to play. They're both great games in their own right. They are very different from one another, and I don't know which one you will like better. Personally, I think I will go with Fractured Space more than Dreadnought, but in the end, I suppose I'll be playing both for different reasons. One side note, though, is that Fractured Space... I hate Fractured Space just a little bit. Because the Mighty Jingles was available as a captain crew member for a while, and I didn't get him. You had to play the game during a very short time window, I think it was like a weekend only, and I learned about that the day after it was over. Gaming regret of the decade.